So welcome to the ABFM Crash Course, Unit number 1, Basics of Management. So whatever topics from where question have appeared in the examination, in the last 4 examination, we are going to cover that topic in the flowchart manner and using the help of diagram, right? So let's get started with our first topic, that is Foundation of Management Theory. So let's unlock the basic of management theory with 5 foundation concepts. First of all, we have F.W. Taylor Scientific Management Theory, as you can see. So first of all, you should know that F.W. Taylor is known as the father of scientific management, right? And Taylor introduced the concept of Taylorism. His 1911 book name was Principle of Scientific Management. It emphasized efficiency, standardization, and performance measurement. Then we have Henry Fayol contribution. So friends, Fayol is celebrated as the father of modern management. Remember, who is called father of modern management? Henry Fayol. Who is called father of scientific management? F.W. Taylor. So Henry Fayol, father of modern management. He pioneered formal organization theory and highlighted the importance of planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling in management. So 3 things I told you: planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, controlling. Henry Fayol contribution, right? F.W. Taylor Scientific Management Theory. Then we have organization activity. So Fayol identified 6 essential activity in any organization. What are those 6 activity? Technical, commercial, financial, security, accounting, and managerial. So these remains the pillar of structured organization management. So question may be asked, how many organization activity were proposed by Fayol? So answer is 6. Then we have management function and principle. So Fayol also laid down 14 principles of management, from unity of command to division of work, creating a strong foundation that still influence leadership and decision making. And finally we have workflow analysis. So the concept of workflow analysis stems from the early industrial engineering. It focuses on improving labor productivity and economic efficiency, tools still vital in today's management practice. So to wrap it up, these 5 keys, Taylor, Fayol, organization structure, principle, and efficiency, they form the bedrock of modern management. They continue to influence how organizations operate and grow efficiently. Now have a look at organizing as a management function. See, planning, organizing, controlling. So basically they are not asking question from planning, rather they are more inclined toward organizing. So let's understand organizing. So organizing, it is the core function of management. It is where plan takes shape and people take position. So the first part of it is called structuring the resources. Try to understand. So basically organizing means structuring the all available resources we have. So what are the available resources? People, material, capital, technology. So these are the resources we have, and we are structuring all the available resource, right? And it is a kind of very important management function. It involves structuring all available resource, right? It involves work division, it involves assigning authority and ensuring a smooth coordination, right? As an organization grow, complexity increases, and that is where formal structure comes into picture, right? So basically it decides work division, authority, coordination leads to complexity. With growth, formal structure. What is formal structure? So it means define, classify, arrange, coordinate, right? And reporting means who report, decision making, who take decision, at what level take decision is taken. So this is all about a structured resource. It's all about organizing, right? It means structuring all available resources we have. Now if you look at the types of organization we have, then there is something called formal organization structure. It means clearly defining, classifying, arranging, and coordinating every role, every resource. It brings order to the potential chaos. And if you look at the core area to focus on, first one we have task management, means who does what and how they are grouped. Second one we have reporting structure, means who reports to whom. So in reporting structure means who reports to whom. Then we have decision making, means who make decision and at what level decision is being made. So these are called core areas: task management, reporting structure, decision making, right? These are called core areas. Now friends, to summarize, organizing means aligning resource with the roles and decision with structure. So we are aligning resources with their role, right? That these are the resources and these are your role, and we are aligning decision with structure, like decision making, who decide at what level, right? Ensuring that our team is not just working hard but also working smart. Like in the case of formal organization structure, I told you, we must clearly define, classify, arrange, and coordinate every role and every resource. right? It has to be done. It bring order to the potential chaos. So that is all about organizing. In one word, if we say, it means, structuring our resource, right? Assigning roles to each and every people, right? Manpower that we have. Now let's look at the management school, classical versus neoclassical. So management thought has evolved over the time, and it all starts with two foundation school, classical and neoclassical. First of all, have a look at the classical school on the right hand side. So basically imagine an organization as a well-oiled machine. You can think of organization as, well-oiled machine. Every employee, it acts like a cog in the system. So efficiency, it is driven by structure, control, technology, right? So this particular classical school believes in centralized system. As you can see, it believes in production focused thinking. It treat employee as a part of the system, right? So I told you now that you can imagine organization as a well-oiled machine. Every employee acts like a cog in the system, means a part of the system. Efficiency is driven by structure, control, technology, right? So these are the key points of classical theory. How efficiency is structured? It is driven by structure, control and technology, right? And this school believes in centralized system, production focused thinking, and treating employee as a part of the system. And on the other hand, we have neoclassical school. What is neoclassical school? Try to understand. So this then came a shift from machine to human. I told you, organization was treated as a well-oiled machine. So from machine to human, this was the shift. Neoclassical thinker emphasize people over process. Yes, they emphasize people over the process, right? So here efficiency is rooted in motivation, communication, teamwork. So this approach value both formal and informal organization, and it introduced major theory like Maslow hierarchy, McGregor and theory X and Y, and Hertzberg motivation and hygiene theory. So in short, we can say, while the classical school focus on the system, the neoclassical school focus on the soul of the system. System and the soul of the system, heart of the system. And what is the heart of the system? It means the people. So that's the difference. You can easily see. Classical theory says that organization is a well-oiled machine, right? So it is tech-driven efficiency, centralized system, production focus. While in neoclassical theory, human-centric approach is there. It tells there are two types of organization: formal organization, informal organization. I think you are familiar with it, right? And so some major theory were evolved out, like Maslow hierarchy theory. All of these define the people component, right? So I hope these two differences is crystal clear to you, friend. If you want such kind of PDF through which you can revise the entire content in just a very small amount of time, and you can just revise it once more, everything will be in your mind, because this is the kind of mind map. You can enroll in our crash course program. Our crash course is designed to cover the important part of the syllabus in very efficient and quick manner, and after going through the video, you go to solve more and more MCQs. The more MCQ you solve, the more confident you will become, and more easily you can crack the examination. That is our main focus. That out of the 100% time which we are devoting, 70% time should go toward MCQ solving, and just 30% toward learning the theory. That's our main motive toward this crash course program. Now friends, have a look at this particular diagram. So this is McGregor X and Y theory, right? So this diagram explain regarding the McGregor X and Y theory. So let's understand what this theory tells. So basically this theory says that there are two kinds of people, right? Theory X and theory Y. So what does theory X tell? Let's see. So theory X tells that such kind of people they need external control, they avoid responsibility, right? Theory X people, and they are lazy, they avoid work. While the theory Y of McGregor says that these kind of people are self-control and creative. They are self-motivated. They take work as a natural play. So that's the difference between theory X people, theory X mindset, and theory Y mindset. Theory X on the other hand are lazy and avoid work, while theory Y people, they take work as a natural play. Theory X avoid responsibility, while theory Y are self-motivated. Theory X need external control, while theory Y are self-control. So I hope the difference between theory X and theory Y of that was given by McGregor is clear now. Now have a look at the quantitative school of management. Very, very important aspect. So let's step into the world of number, models and measurable insight. Welcome to the world of quantitative school of management. As the name itself is quantitative. Quantitative means something that can quantify, like number you can quantify, model you can qualify, measurable insights that we have. So have a look at the key features on the left hand side. First of all, this school brings the scientific method to the management. It revolves around creating model, creating theories and hypotheses. Second, using empirical data collection. Third, applying mathematical and statistical model, because it is all about computation, right? Qualitative, as the name itself suggests. Then performing data analysis, controlled experiment, and variable testing. These are the part and parcel of this, quantitative school of management theory. And then you can think of this as, managing through logic, data, and discipline, where decisions are not guessed but calculated. So these are one part. These are the key features. Now if you look at the historical context of it, so it was born out of the World War II needs, when complex management problem demanded precision. And this school draw root from the tailored scientific management theory, evolving with math and statistics at its core. So you can think of it like, managing through logic, data, then discipline, where decisions are not guessed but calculated. That is called, quantitative school of management science. Now we have very important theory that is called TQM, total quality management. So welcome to the world of excellence without compromise. This is called total quality management. So TQM took shape in the post World War. If you look at the origination, so it took shape in the post World War in Japan, aiming to rebuild industry through quality and continuous improvement. Then comes Deming 14 principle. So at its core, lie the visionary principle of W. Edward Deming. A few key highlights. We are not going to discuss all those 14 principles, but important one we are going to discuss. So he says that to maintain a consistency of purpose, to adopt a new philosophy of quality, to stop relying on inspection to find error, and to build quality from the start. And last but not the least, reject lowest bid system. Focus on all-round improvement, on-the-job training, and a strong leadership culture. So these are of the few principles out of the Deming 14 principle, right, which form the basis of total quality management. Now if you look at the main elements of this TQM, so TQM thrives on employee involvement, customer-centric thinking, standardization, and then we have continuous monitoring and process refinement. So these are the main elements on which TQM thrive. Again I am repeating: employee involvement, customer centric thinking, standardization, and continuous monitoring. If you look at the key contributors of this TQM, so beside Deming, legends like Durand, Crosby, though they shaped TQM into global movement for quality. So in the essence, to summarize, we can say TQM is not just a strategy, it is a culture where quality is everyone's business every day. That is called TQM, total quality management. Now friends, have a look at learning organization structure. Right, so building a smarter workplace, how does it work? So first of all, imagine a workplace where learning never stop, where every employee grow, adapt, and innovate continuously. Learning, so if you can imagine a such a workplace where learning never stop, every employee grow, adopt, and innovate continuously. That is the essence of learning organization. So the first thing we have, adaptive and generative learning. So this is not just about solving today's problem, right? It is all about evolving constantly to meet tomorrow's challenge. In such organization, learning is woven into the culture. So adaptive and generative learning means what? Not just about solving today's problem, it's about evolving constantly to meet tomorrow's challenge. So we want to meet the tomorrow challenge, and it means evolving constantly. Now we have 5 disciplines here. What are the 5 disciplines of this learning organization? First one is called personal mastery, which means cultivate a clear personal vision. Then we have a shared vision, which means unite everyone around a common goal. Then we have mental model, which means challenge your assumption, think deeply. Team learning, which means foster openness, humility, right, and collaboration. And then we have system thinking, means understand the big picture and connection. So these are the 5 main disciplines. Again I am repeating: personal mastery means cultivate a clear personal vision, shared vision, unite everyone around a common goal, mental model, which means challenge your assumption, think deeply, team learning means foster openness, humility, and collaboration, and finally system thinking. If you look at the key features of it, so basically it is a team based structure. First of all, it empowered employee, open and transparent communication, and growth driven mindset. So Peter Senge, he was the key thinker behind this model. They call system thinking the 5th discipline, tying all other together. So Peter Senge, they call it 5th discipline, right? They call he is a thinker behind this model. They call system thinking as the 5th discipline, tying all other together. Now the question is why it matter? Because if you talk about the importance of it, it encourages innovation, it improves efficiency, it improves effectiveness, it boosts productivity, and it enhances brand limitation. So in short, if we summarize, we can say learning organization does not just work, it evolves, it adapts, it leads. So 5 disciplines you must remember: personal mastery, shared vision, mental model, team learning, and system thinking, right? Adaptive and generative learning is the part of it. And one thinker you must remember, Peter Senge. He was the 5th discipline. Now have a look at the business model, strategies and example. Very important discussion we are going to discuss now. Friends, every successful business run on a clear, powerful business model, which is a kind of blueprint that define how a company create, deliver and capture value. Let's explore the most common model that business use today. First of all, we have something called solution or consulting model. So it means selling your expertise, like IBM, right? IBM did. So selling expertise. Second, we have profit pyramid model. It means start with affordable product, upsell to premium, right? So that is called profit pyramid. Low price means what you do in the case of profit pyramid, like you start with an affordable product and you upsell to the premium, like done by GM. Then we have multi-component system, which means low cost product plus high margin accessory, like in the case of Gillette or HP. Switchboard model. Switchboard model means connect buyer and seller, like Amazon, like eBay. Then we have time model. What is time model? Time model means speed is the weapon. First to win in the market, like tech firm. Then we have blockbuster model. It means few high demand hit bring massive return, like in pharma, like in film. That is called blockbuster model. Profit multiplier. So synergize multiple business like Disney, Magic, etc. Then we have entrepreneur model. So entrepreneur model means tap Nike market, like Tata 1mg acquisition. Then we have de facto standard. Start free and then charge high, like Microsoft, like Geo. That is called de facto standard. And finally we have efficiency model, which means mass market at low cost, like Walmart, like Dell, right? So basically these are the different model: profit pyramid, multi-component system, switchboard, time model, blockbuster model, profit multiplier model. So you should go through this particular table once more, because questions are most frequently asked, especially examples is also asked. Which of the following is an example of switchboard model? So you should know eBay, Amazon is example of switchboard model. Which of the following is an example of time model, right? So these kind of questions are asked. If we talk about the key elements, so first one we have is the client type, which means who you are serving. Then we have product offering, means what is your value proposition. Then we have the revenue model, how do you earn. Differentiation, what set you apart. Operational future, means how do you deliver efficiently. So basically a great business model does not just work, it evolves, it is scale, it survive disruption. So that is all about our business model structure. Now have a look at the globalization, opportunities and environmental impact. So globalization has reshaped the world, offering unmatched opportunity, but also posing significant environmental challenges. Let's look at both the side. First of all, opportunity that drive the growth. First of all, global market access. It taps into new consumer base across continent. Second, we have export growth. What does it mean? Means expand sales beyond domestic border. Cheaper raw material sourcing, which means improve margin by sourcing globally. Joint venture and collaboration, means foster innovation through partnership. Foreign subsidiary, establish a local presence in global market. Then we have low cost international borrowing, which means finance growth at favorable rate. Cross border cooperation, it means share knowledge, technology and policy framework. On the other hand, we have environmental impact. So first of all, transport surge. So it means increase carbon emission from global logistic. Economic specialization, it can lead to over reliance and imbalance. Reduce biodiversity, it means industrial expansion often harm ecosystem. Environmental threat awareness, which means bring sustainability to the spotlight. Corporate responsibility and accountability, it means global firms are now more accountable. So in the essence we can say globalization opens door, but also demand conscious, sustainable step to walk through them. Now we have the next slide, that is a strategic management framework. Very important from examination point of view. So friends, strategic management is not just planning, it is a continuous cycle of making better choice for long-term success. Let's break it down. If we look at the element, first of all we have environmental scanning, means what is happening in the market and around us. A strategy formulation, means what should we do based on that. A strategy implementation, means let's put the plan into action, that means let's implement it. And finally evaluation and control, is it working? If not, let's fix it. So that is, these are the 4 elements you must know: environmental scanning, strategy formulation, strategy implementation, and monitoring evaluation. If you look at the types of strategy, we have very important. The first type is called corporate strategy. So corporate strategy means big picture direction, like TCS existing Tata X to focus on consulting, right? So overall direction strategy, growth stability, right? So like I told you example, like TCS existing Tata X to focus on consultancy. Second type we have is called business strategy, means at the product or at the unit level, right? Product level strategy or the unit level strategy. And corporate strategy is the big picture strategy. So for it can be further divided into 2 parts: competitive and cooperative. Competitive, like Intel versus AMD, differentiation. And cooperative, global alliance like Microsoft. So these are the types of business strategy, right? So they are the product or unit level. For competitive, I told you Intel versus AMD, and cooperative like global alliance like Microsoft. And the third strategy we have is called functional strategy, which means that department specific awareness, like marketing. You can create demand through awareness. Research and development, you can build, imitate and innovate. And finally we have hit and off, which means marketing, maximizing productivity. Now business strategy in action. So a real example is SBI Mutual Fund aligning a strategy with the goal based investment goal. So this is a best example of business strategy. Like SBI Mutual Fund, they are aligning a strategy with goal based investment growth. So in short, if we summarize this particular strategic management, we can say that strategic management is how great organization think ahead, act smarter, and stay competitive. Because the 3 technique which I told you, types which I told you, like corporate strategy. So basically what this is all about, if we talk about the corporate strategy, it means big picture direction. Business strategy means at the product or unit level, and functional strategy means department wise specific action. So basically what we are doing through this strategic management is that we are thinking ahead, we are acting smart, and we are staying competitive. These are the things. Now have a look at the strategic management evolution. How does it evolve? So let's take a journey through the evolution. First of all, GE leadership in strategic management. In the 1980, GE led the charge in moving toward strategic management. By the 1990, it became a core practice, right? It became the core practice for the company. Then we have, if you look at the key shift in management, so what changed? The involvement of all level of management in planning. No more top down. Instead, we saw integrated strategic planning for a more collaborative approach. Then we have something called a strategic plan, which means a long term focus, right? So what does it mean? A strategic plan move from short term target to 5-year horizon with continuous review to adapt to change. Then we have tech advancement. Tech advancement means tools like intranet, LAN, local area network. They help business share information faster and more effectively, giving rise to interactive planning. Consultancy, I think you know it. What are the benefits of a strategic management? Clear strategic vision, focus on critical issues, better understanding of the dynamic environment, and adaptability to the market change. If you look at the proactive approach, so did you know only 13 companies from 1917 Forbes list remain today? This shows how important long-term thinking and market adaptation are. Then we have strategic planning, key to success. According to the Bain's 2017 survey, the most common used planning tool are mission and vision statement, which means 32%, and core competency, which means 30%. So the most commonly used planning tool are mission and vision statement, right? And the second one is core competency. If we talk about the competitive advantage, so in nutshell, strategic management is not just basically the real competitive advantage comes from the constant strategy development and innovation. So to conclude, in a nutshell, strategic management is not just a practice, it is a key driver for long-term success. It's about strategy, execution, culture, and structuring all the work together. So friends, that is all we have to go through this particular chapter, strategic management. This topic you must go through, you must understand. Then we talk about the globalization, opportunity and environment. Then we talk about some of the business model and their key elements, very important. And then before that we talked about the learning is 5 disciplines are there, what are their name, what are the key feature, and what are the importance. Before that we talk about TQM. In the TQM, Deming 14 principle, main elements we have talked about, key contribution and origin. And then before that we talk about the quantitative school of management, again key feature and historical context. We talked about the McGregor X and Y theory, right? And then we talked about the management school, neoclassical and classical. So friends, that is all we have to cover in this particular chapter, nothing more than that. If you cover this much, if you want such kind of PDF, you can WhatsApp me on the number shown on the screen. Thank you.